And we had a lot of decent Beavers do well.
They're good coming in as freshmen, but once they're juniors and seniors, they're well-rounded.
That's what Bluffton needs with their 3 seniors who are doing well, McKenzie on the bases, and then Josie and Behuff at the plate.
And then in the 5th inning, it looks like the Spartans they started rallying.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 27th episode of the Beaver Dam. 4th on your guys' computer screens watching at home. Trent, how was your weekend, man?
My weekend was packed. I actually watched a little bit of the track meet over there at Ohio Wesleyan. My cousin actually runs there, so I had to support her a little bit.
Nice.
Watch some of our runners, and then I had 2 spring soccer games yesterday. So.
Oh, how'd that go?
Lost the first one pretty close, 2-1. And then second game not so well.
Not so well. Did you guys play Xavier's club team?
Yeah, they were really good.
Oh, that sounds awful. My weekend was pretty packed as well as little sister's weekend. I had my little sister come up and my friend, he came up too. So it was pretty eventful to say the least. Well, enough about our weekends. Let's talk about what happened during the weekend of sports. So we'll start with men's golf. Over the weekend, this men's golf team traveled to Worcester College to compete at the Worcester Country Club in the Nye Intercollegiate Invitational, I do believe. They were supposed to play April 14th and the 15th. The 15th got canceled because it was nasty out. It was raining all day. Nothing they can do. Not at playable condition. So they only had 1 day of golfing, which is unfortunate. These guys, it seems like, have not had a break. They haven't had any really great weather to compete in other than Friday. But other than Saturday, a little bit. I mean, it was nice out, but it was still wet and rainy and windy. But still good enough to play some golf. Yeah, Bluffton finished 10 out of 10 in team standings. But, I mean, this team's compiled of all freshmen. So you can't really frown upon that. These guys, first season, this is their first actual, in-season competition. So they're going to get better as the year goes on and as the next 3 years move along as well.
Yeah.
We had Mason Jones finished with a 94 on the day. Dakota Pratt had a 95. Michael Fimiani had a 96. And then Anthony Mongia and Julian Lavelle. Right?
Yeah,
Lavelle?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
And Julian Lavelle finished with a 111. So our guys were Mason Jones was 22 and Dakota Pratt was 23 over par. The par was set at 72. All of our guys finished towards the bottom of the stat sheet, but it's all right. Like we said, they're freshmen. Yeah. They have a lot of years to improve, and they just go out there and just continue to just get balls off the tee. It'll help them. Their next invitational is slated in one of Bluffton's popular places the last couple of weekends, Ohio Wesleyan University. They travel down there this weekend to compete, so good luck to the men's golf team this weekend as they travel to Delaware, Ohio.
I'm just thinking because, I mean, our soccer team, at least guys, were really young, and we struggled a lot at the beginning of our year because, college...
It's different.
College sports are so much harder.
Yeah.
And especially when, most teams, at least for soccer, juniors and seniors are the ones on the field. So they've had those 2 extra years on you where they've been competing, been preparing.
Yeah, especially in conference.
You're just thrown in there as a freshman. I mean, high school soccer was a lot slower of a game, and you have kids just starting out playing. Mm-hmm. Whereas in college, it's the better athletes from high school are all playing. So you have they're good coming in as freshmen, but once they're juniors and seniors, they're well-rounded. And
right.
So, I mean, I don't know much about golf, but it's probably the same. I mean, the more you compete against good people, the more it's going to push you to be those good players.
Yeah, the more competition you see, the more times you have reps and practice, it'll help them build confidence and also build their competitiveness within each invitational to place higher. So moving on to probably one of the better programs
Yeah.
in Bluffton right now is the track and field team. These athletes went down to Ohio Wesleyan University. Like I said, is probably one of the popular places right now the last couple of weeks for Bluffton athletics. They had the All-Ohio Championships.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of decent Beavers do well. We had the story of the meet, I guess, from looking at the results and the recap on the athletics page, is that we had 2 Utica High School grads who were teammates finish really well. Kyle Nezovich, the senior, won the pole vault, so he is the All-Ohio pole vaulting king. We also had Connor Gulick, who's a sophomore this year, drop an impressive 24 seconds off of his previous best in the 3,000 meter distance, in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. That is insane.
22 seconds.
24 seconds.
24 seconds. Oh my word.
Yeah, Connor knocked off an
Even
impressive
more
amount of
impressive.
time. Like, seconds
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's a lot,
Yeah.
but in races, that's like a minute.
Yeah, that's like when Dakota Frost beat his own record by 30 seconds. We were talking about how, like, you're sitting here and a second goes by and you're like, oh, that's not that fast. But, I mean, when you're out there competing, a second can feel like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's really, really impressive. And congrats to those two. Who are the other placers for this track team, Trent?
So we had sophomore Justin Kaufman, who I believe he beat his personal record,
Yeah.
lifetime record, actually, in the pole vault with 14 feet, 3/4 inches. He took 4th as well in the pole vault. And then we had Quincy Salcido, who ran his personal best in the 200-meter dash. His time was 22.82 seconds, as well as Katora Warlick running her personal best with a time of, in the 200 with a time of 26.24 seconds.
Yeah, the two juniors, Warlick and Salcido, really had a great 200 race day. They PRs, like you said, and they are continuing to place well within meets and in their heats. So I like to see more of this because they only have a couple meets left, and then their season is over.
Didn't Kyle Nezovich place in the 400 too?
Yeah,
No.
you're right. I missed that. Kyle Nezovich did place in the 400.
I actually did get to see that race, because my cousin ran the 400 meters as well, 400 hurdles. But I do know he took first in his heat.
It says he placed 4th among 22 in the 400-meter hurdles with a lifetime best of 55.98 seconds. Whoa.
I don't even think I can run an open 400 that fast.
No. That's a lap around the track running
With
hurdles.
Yeah.
No way.
It looked crazy. Quincy took first in his heat too. He was running real fast.
Well, looking at the conference standings, we have a lot of Beavers within top 10. In the men's pole vault, we have 3 Beavers in the top 5. We got Gabe Macon with the best height in the HCAC with 15.5. Kyle Nezovich right behind him with his 15.4.5. That was set this past weekend. Justin Kaufman, 5th with a clearance of 14 inches, 0.75 inches.
14 feet, 3/4 inches. That's what he did this weekend.
Oh, did I mess that up?
Yeah, you said 14 inches.
Whoops. Yep, that's I could clear that. My bad. But yeah, he, like you said, he set that this weekend.
Yeah.
We also have in the women's Tori Bowen 3rd and Sarah Oliver 3rd as well in the women's pole vault. You got Nathan Willow 3rd in the men's high jump. Sarah Hattinger 7th in the women's high jump in the conference. Connor Gulick 3rd in the conference in the 3,000 steeplechase. Kyle Nezovich 1st in the conference in the men's 400 hurdles. Set that record over the weekend. Jenny Matson is 1st in the women's 10,000 meter race with a time of 38:48. That was set at the Washington and Lee Track and Field Carnival back on March 16th. No one is even close to catching her in the conference. That is insane. Victoria Tezona from Earlham is in second, but she has a time of 44:01. Nowhere close to Jenny's time. No. Holy mackerel. That is insane. We also have in the men's 10,000, we got Dakota Frost first, Chris Lyons fourth, and Jonah Eckert fifth. Frost's time is 31:55. That was set at the 2018 Washed U Invite. Alexis Cash, Jenny Matson round out the top two in the women's 5,000 meter run. Both times were set at the Wash U Invite. Cash's time is an 18:08. Matson's time is an 18:44. Cash is fifth in the 1,500 meter race with a time of 5:07. That was set this past weekend at the All-Ohio Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Katora Warlick is second in the conference in the 200 meter dash. That was also set this past weekend. Man, these guys, it seems like it's a recurring thing. Yeah, this weekend was just the day to be having their best times. Warlick is also sixth in the 100 meter dash with a time of 12:98. That was set at the Mar Fry Invitational 2 weekends ago at Ohio Wesleyan. And that's really it for a lot of the outstanding Bluffton athletes in this track and field program. I mean, there's a lot more on there. It's just, there's too many. If you want to check out more, click this link down below. Well, the Beavers travel this weekend to the neighboring Ohio Northern University this Friday and Saturday, April 20th and 21st, to compete in the Polo Bear Invite. The hammer and javelin competitions will be contested Friday starting at 3. Field events will resume Saturday at 11, with track events starting at noon. So go out there, go down to Ada. It's about 15 minutes away from Bluffton. Support your Beavers track and field team.
I don't know, but with the name of Polar Bear, just welcoming the cold.
That is true. That is true. It sure as heck ain't spring yet. I mean, it by the calendar date, it is spring, but Mother Nature's like, not today, Satan.
I mean, last week we had those 70.
I know. Thursday and Friday was beautiful.
So nice. Soccer practice, I was like, yes. Then this weekend we go and we play in rain, and it's cold.
Yeah, honestly, Thursday and Friday, a lot of people were happy. You can see it on their face just because how nice the weather is. And then once Saturday hit, so anyway, moving on to softball.
So as of today, our softball team is sitting 8th in the conference with a record of 7-18 overall and a record in the conference of 2-6. Also, we have senior Brittany Huff, who's leading the conference in batting average with an average of 500.
Yeah,
I mean
she's right at 500.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because earlier, what was it? Friday, I was looking at the stats, and before their doubleheader on Friday against Franklin, she was what, .525. She was above 500, and I'm like, B Huff is batting insane. Yeah. This is crazy.
I mean, still over 5. I mean, at 500, that's still half the time she's on the plate, she's getting on base.
Yeah, that helps, but they just need more of that within the rest of the softball hitters.
So we have also senior Josie McElroy, who's 6th in the conference with her average of 439. So that's still well above average too.
Oh yeah.
But it's like first you have B Huff, and then 6th. I mean, hers isn't that much lower, so you got to. I don't know where the other 5, 4, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. There are 4 batters in the conference. I don't know how well they're doing, but obviously they're having outstanding seasons as well.
Yeah. B Huff and Josie are just really producing for this Beavers team, but they need help.
Yeah.
They need help getting the ball throughout the field and getting runners in scoring position to help win more games. 7-18, I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad, especially having a new coach in this year.
Yeah.
2-6 in the conference, not where they want to be, but again, new coach, things are a lot different. I mean, we've touched on this the last, month now.
Yeah.
So, getting into the swing of things, pun intended, that will help Bluffton shoot for the sky and win more games.
Yeah. And then, I mean, McElroy, she's also first in the conference with RBIs with total of 31.
Mm-hmm.
Second in home runs with 9. And then you have B. Huff, who's in third. She has 7. So, I mean, just by their averages, they're also really high in all the other categories in hitting. So those two obviously are above and beyond most of the competition.
Oh, yeah.
At least at the plate.
And it helps having 2 within that on the
Yeah.
team because they're producing hits. It's just the other girls need to step up.
Yeah. And then another senior, Mackenzie Schmidt, she's second in bases stolen on the year with 20. That's
Man, she must have some wheels
yeah.
because that's a lot.
That's a lot of bases.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only played 26 games.
Yeah.
So that's almost a stolen base a game.
That's insane. Well, going back to the home runs, Trent, I just pulled up the stat sheet within the conference. Lauren Ladwig from Manchester has 14 home runs. She has 14.
14.
That is insane. She's second in batting average with a .475, just under B. Huff. She's second in RBIs with 30, just under Josie with 1. Josie's behind her with 14 and 9. That's insane. This girl is batting out of her mind.
Yeah.
In Manchester, Conference League, they're sitting 4-4. They're in the 4th ranked position within the conference. They're 12-4 on the year. So she is really helping Manchester win games. And that's what Bluffton needs with their 3 seniors who are doing well. Mackenzie on the bases, and then Josie and B. Huff at the plate. They just need more help.
Yeah. I mean, you're senior. Obviously, you're senior. You're kind of seniors are more of your leaders on your team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those 3 seniors just doing what you got to do. Hopefully, it'll just push some of the younger, more kind of inexperienced, I guess, players to just push to work to hopefully look up and want to play.
Right.
At least hit at the plate and run the bases like they do.
Well, softball had 2 games this past week. They had a doubleheader on Wednesday. That was home against Anderson. They split that series. They lost the first game 12-2 and won the second game 10-8. Woo! Those are some high-scoring games.
Yeah.
In the first game, B. Huff had a home run. Jesse Madzia went 2 for 2 at the plate, and then B. Huff went 1 for 3. Second game, Josie actually clinched the all-time leader with 174 career hits. So congrats to Josie. We here at the Beaver Dam send you a huge round of applause. That is awesome. And then in that game, in the second inning, B. Huff hit a grand slam off the scoreboard. Oh, I so wish I was there. That would have been epic to see. B. Huff also went 3 for 4 at the plate with 6 RBIs. So B. Huff in that series with Anderson on Wednesday, April 11th. Woo!
Tingers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She went combined, 4 for 7, 2 home runs. 1 was a grand slam. She had at least maybe 8, roughly. It's an estimate. Well, it's a guesstimate on how many RBIs she had within those 2 games on that day. They had practice Thursday, and then Friday another doubleheader. They went to Franklin. They unfortunately lost both games. The first game went 5-1 in favor of the Grizzlies. McElroy hit her 9th home run of the year. And then in the second game, they got mercy ruled in the 5th, losing 9-0. Franklin had an 8-run 4th inning that led to that 9-0 mercy
8
rule.
runs in 1 inning.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow. With that first doubleheader against Anderson, I got to be at the first game just a little bit. I missed the first couple innings. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was busy a little bit. I watched some. I missed her home run, so I did not know that happened.
Oh.
But when I was there, it just seemed like our defense was what was really killing us. Just little mistakes, like the ball, they wouldn't scoop it all the way, so they couldn't make the throw, or just the ball was hitting the gap, and then they just had runners on, and they just weren't leaving anybody on the bases.
Yeah, and defense is kind of been the key to this struggle of a year.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it again for about a month now. And when we were discussing with Pat last week, he mentioned to us that most of their errors are coming on that left side.
Yeah.
And our two seniors are on that left side. So it hurts having seniors who are hitting the ball well, but they're not fielding well.
Defensively, they're struggling a little bit in the field.
And you kind of mentioned it too, I do believe. B-Huff kind of stepped it up a little bit defensively. Mm-hmm. Josie's the one who's kind of struggling a little bit. Yeah. So hopefully they can get their gloves together because their bats are already they're hitting the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, dinger after dinger it seems like now. But hopefully they can get their gloves down and dirty.
Yeah.
And stop committing errors. So their next game is a doubleheader again against Mount St. Joseph at home on Wednesday, April 18th. Make sure you guys are out there and support your Lady Beavers. All right, our last sport of the season, our last sport of the segment, baseball. The baseball team, like the softball team, have been struggling a little bit. Mm-hmm. Baseball is now sitting 7th in the conference. They are now 15-12 after the games this past weekend. They are now 4-6 in the HCAC. In the conference standings, senior Ryan Golden is 5th in RBIs with 27. He's also 3rd in home runs with 5. Pitching, though, the junior Dante DeAndrea, he's 5th in wins with 4. That's really good. And he's also 8th in the conference with a 2.67 ERA. Freshman Jacob Latofsky is 13th in the conference and batting average with a .357. No one was even close from our team to him. He, other than Golden, who's actually hitting the ball better now.
Yeah.
Latofsky's having a great at-bat, it seems like, in almost every game. So, Trent, I know they had a doubleheader at Manchester on Wednesday. Kind of go through that game. Well, what happened?
Well, they split the series.
Okay.
They lost the first game 11-8, won the second one 6-2.
Hold on. Before we get to that second game, that first game, I was looking at like the play-by-play stuff.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You had a 7-2 lead in the fourth and you blew it. Why? What was going on?
You threw me off there. You got really excited. I wasn't ready for that.
Sorry.
Well, in that first game, Ryan Golden, he actually hit a homer in the 4th inning to put them ahead that 7-2. And then in the 5th inning, it looks like the Spartans just... So they started hitting in the 5th, which just...
It propelled them.
Yeah, to the 7th inning where they took that 11-7 lead. But, again, Ryan Golden in the 9th inning, he hit another homer, but it just wasn't enough to push the Beavers over.
No. Yeah, they had 12 hits on the day. 2 of them were from Golden, who had 2 home runs. I saw they had 3 fielding errors. I mean, 3's not bad, but it's
bad for a whole
I guess it depends on how.
I mean, if they got runs on those errors, that could be bad. But if it was just like an error, someone gets on first with 2 outs, and then you get the 3rd out, that wouldn't be a bad error.
Who's on first?
I don't know. I said
what's on second?
Theoretically. Come on, time.
Got you there, buddy. Sorry, I gotta have fun with this. But yeah, Golden can't do it all.
Yeah.
And like we said, he had 3 home runs in that series, 2 in the first, 1 in the second game, and they need help. Same with the softball. Like you can't rely on your 2 best hitters to help you guys out. You need more people to step up and help the team provide more runs. I mean, they lost 11-8. It's not a bad loss, unless you see that they gave up a 7-2 lead in the 5th. But they came back and won the second game 6-2. As we mentioned, Golden went deep again to go up 2-0, and then John Doring went deep in the 6th for his second home run in the season. So they compiled 16 hits, 1 error in the field. They had a better game in the second one, which helps.
They hit better.
Yeah.
It looks like they fielded better. I mean, 3 errors to 1 error, that 3-to-1 ratio, that's better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then on Friday, they traveled to Mount St. Joe in a doubleheader. Unfortunately, they lost both. The Beavers lost game 1, 6-2. Honestly, the series, their bats weren't there. That's the key story for on Friday's doubleheader. And their bats just did not show up. They showed up. I just guess the medal.
They forgot the bats on the bus.
I guess so. They must have. That first game, they left 6 runners on base. They had 3 fielding errors. Just wasn't the best game 1 for the Beavers. Game 2, they lost 5-2. Same story as first game. Bats weren't alive. They hit worse. I think in the second game, they only had 3 hits, and they left 7 runners on base. They committed 2 fielding errors, so it just wasn't a great Friday for Bluffton, unless you were here in the nice weather. But if you were down in Mount St. Joe,
not a good day.
Sorry.
I mean, those Friday they gave up 5 errors total. I mean, in both the games. So obviously they're doing something right in the field that those 2 games.
Yeah.
They just, if you can't hit, you can't score, and if you can't score, you can't win.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to make a mistake in the field is what I'm trying to get at. So if your bats aren't alive, then you have to focus really hard on your fielding. I mean, they did that, 2 errors and 3 errors?
Yeah, they had 2 in the second and 3. Yep.
So obviously they weren't playing bad in the field. Just if they would have hit maybe how they hit against
on Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Manchester.
They probably would have got those 2 wins instead of 2 losses.
Yeah, and that hurt them.
Because they were splitting with every other team in the conference, correct?
I do believe so, yes. Because that dropped them out of... If the season would have ended this weekend, it would have dropped them out of that 5th spot.
Tournament, right?
Yeah, for the tournament. 5 teams make the tournament. We got, right now, Franklin at 7-1, 22-2 overall. Holy mackerel. Anderson 7-1 in the conference. They're 18-12. Earlham 6-2, 22-6. Rose is 5-4, 10-17. Transies 4-4, 14-15. That's your top 5 right there. Then you got Mount St. Joe, who Bluffton went to this past Friday. Mount St. Joe is now 3-4 in the conference, 12-12 overall. Bluffton's now 4-6, 15-12. So having a better overall record ain't gonna do much.
No.
You need to secure a couple of victories, even if they split. I feel like they'd still make the tournament.
Either split or, since you went down 2 games, try and get over that hump there and just try and win 2 games instead of splitting with the team.
They need to have a sweep of at least 2 more series.
Yeah.
Their next game was scheduled to be tomorrow, April 17th, but due to weather, it was postponed to Wednesday. So not only will the softball team be competing on Wednesday, the baseball team will be also. So go out and support softball for at least 1 game. Then after that, go out and support your baseball team because these guys need it. They need all the support they can get. That will actually help them boost their confidence. Because if we have our student body out there cheering us on, it's going to want us to play better and play even harder. So you guys go out there, support your guys' softball and baseball teams. I'm going to try to be out there depending on how busy I am on Wednesday because class is wrapping up, man. We got 2 weeks left. This school year has flown by.
Crunch time.
Oh, yeah, it is crunch time. So hopefully you guys are procrastinating, watching us do this, keeping off on your homework. Get your homework done, then come watch us here at the Beaver Dam on 96.1 The Wit. And that wraps up this edition of the Beaver Dam. We thank you for watching and listening. We encourage you to come back next week. Check out our previous podcasts. Search and subscribe on iTunes or Google Play The Wit 96.1 Podcast at Bluffton University. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TheBeaverDam961. For more stories and information, check out our website, blufftonwit.com, and subscribe. This has been Tyler Avila, joined along with Trent Mast and our videographer, Colton Steiner. We thank you for tuning in to the Beaver Dam on 96.1 The Wit.
Roll Beeve.